Hello and welcome. We have with us Mr. S. Ramann, CMD SIDBI. Mr. Ramann, thanks a lot for taking time out and speaking to business today. You have been involved with the SME, MSME segment for long. How would you see, what are your views on the way the segment has, say, matured or grown over the last couple of years?
I think the segment is integral to India's growth. So as the story goes, no country has ever developed without a strong MSME sector. So I think if we were to look at post-COVID versus pre-COVID, I think it's a fair comparison to make. We are virtually seeing the levels of what we had in pre-COVID. Of course, I'll caution that with the fact that there is a bit of stress in the MSME sector, especially the smaller ones. So when ECLGS, the government guarantee program, kicked in, there was a very clear focus that MSMEs should get the benefit. They have 3.5 lakh crores of guarantees have been given. But in that, I would say the resilience was more in the medium sector. The really small sector, which is, let me say, with a 5 to 10 crore turnover, probably we're still seeing some stress there. I think the number of measures that the RBI and government have taken have been tremendous. In the last 6 months, we've seen an explosion of credit growth. So whether it is SIDBI or whether it's other commercial banks, we found that the uptake of credit has been very healthy amongst the MSMEs. So therefore, the hope is that we will ride over the stress. I think maybe another 6 months and we should be able to, see over the stressful accounts.
You refer to some of the schemes, especially aimed at MSMEs. Now, some of the schemes are due to expire also, I believe, during the year. So, you think that there is enough case for further extension of those schemes?
So, let me put it this way. I think the hard lifting has been done. It's really for each individual bank to now figure out their portfolio, which we are all doing. So, I think looking towards the government or the RBI continuously would not be, in the right direction. The banks have the ability to help the SME customers, and we're all doing it in different ways. One of which I think SIDBI has done is to lower the interest rate. So even in this interest rate regime which has been going up, we have been conscious of keeping our interest rates most competitive, and therefore we are giving that message very clearly to the MSMEs that SIDBI is there with them through thick and thin. And I think that's a very important role for a DFI to play because, though of course we are making profits, we only grow on the basis of our profits because that's what a healthy balance sheet will allow you to do. But having said that, we need to also look at the larger volumes that we need to play. So SIDBI is today, I think, giving credit to the MSMEs to an extent of about 15% of total credit to MSMEs. Mostly, of course, through the refinance mechanism, but increasingly through the digital tools that we have developed, and the direct finance is also growing very fast. So I would say that it's really for individual banks to play this particular, game out in the next 6 to 9 months. And I think we should certainly see growth increasing rapidly.
We all agree that SMEs, MSMEs are an important part of the overall economic development or the ecosystem. Now, when we speak to a lot of MSMEs, they say that while access to finance is there, to credit is there, but there's a lot of, say, in terms of paperwork, bank visits, they're still facing a lot of such issues, and they feel that, the whole this concept thing of digitization, it has not really entered this sphere. So what's your view on that?
No, I think you have reflected the popular sentiment, and I must thank you for that. A lot of banks have digitized their SME lending, but probably it's going in, small steps. So let me talk about SIDBI. We have actually brought out a product which is a straight-through processing without any manual intervention for our existing clients if they match a particular, degree of maturation. So let's say, existing client with 2 years profit, we will be giving them up to 1 crore more without any paperwork, without any credit appraisal happening on a desk. It's using the scores that have now emerged in the market. We've got the CMR score, we've got the FIT rank, which has been brought out by CIBIL and OPL with the help of SIDBI. And the FIT rank triangulates the GST, ITR and bank statement. So, we have the digital tools available to us. It's really for each bank to now create that as a seamless, journey, a digital journey for the SMEs. And I think that's happening. So a couple of the private banks might be already ahead in this. SIDBI is certainly pioneering this, along with the fact that we have now got into GST Sahay, which is unsecured lending. That's another big platform that's going to come up. We have the TREDs, which are increasing rapidly. So we have, invoice financing or discounting of bills through the TREDs platforms. So, all in all, the digital tools are being made full use of. And I think there is no bank which is not entered this journey. So it's about us to, understand our risk appetite and create those digital journeys within our own banks.
Just one more final question. The budget is around the corner, and now, say for instance, if you get a chance to present your wishes to the government, what will be the 2-3 key things that you demand for the SME or the MSME segment?
I think it's been said again and again that the delayed payments for MSMEs is a big problem, and I think somewhere we have to address that. So we have been working very closely with the MSME ministry. In fact, we've got a huge formalization project going with them for Udyam registration for 6 crore informal entities. So on the back of which there is something called a Vyapar credit card, which has been talked about. The Standing Committee of Finance has suggested strongly that this should happen, where a revolving credit will come for very small entities. So I really hope that, whether in the budget or, soon thereafter, we should be able to move forward with a Vyapar credit card, which then brings a lot of very tiny entities into bank finance, which is, moving away from very high interest rates of, 40% and above to something more in the range of 15%, which will be great for a lot of very small players. So I wouldn't have any great demands. I think delayed payments is something that's recognized universally, and I think we all need to put our heads together and come up with a good solution for that. And I think the working capital through a Vyapar credit card will go a very long way in helping a very large number of small MSMEs.
Thanks a lot for taking time out speaking to business today. Thank you.
Presented by Royal Ranthambore Heritage Collection.